consistent in our belief that they need more opportunity.
Tiffany, good morning. How are you doing? What's going on in your world?
Good morning. I'm good. I'm just hoping that the noise outside my room stays down. I've got 3 boys running around outside that I nanny, and they're very excited this morning. So hopefully their screaming doesn't impede too much in our interview. How are you?
Nice. I'm good. On this show, we are so happy to introduce Delroy from Sacred Sports. So Delroy, good morning. It's wonderful to meet you again.
Hey folks, I'm coming to you from sunny St. Lucia. It is very sunny, very hot. We're in the middle of a drought as well as a state of emergency. It's luckily you don't have smell vision, so you can't get the full experience, but I'll do my best to shield you from that.
So tell us a little bit more about Sacred Sports and what types of programs you offer.
We really are a development agency using sport rather than a sports agency pretending to do development. We see ourselves very much as a social catalyst, trying to look at how social change occurs, how to really have a lasting impact. So our programs typically revolve around some kind of after-school activity. All of the programs include an academic component. All of them include a life skills component. And obviously the third and finally most fun part is the sport and physical activity. About 85% of our programs are soccer for you guys, or football, as we might call it here. But we do a full range of sports and fun activities. We have a conflict resolution program that most of the kids will engage in at some point, which is based around the sport of fencing. We now have actually a fully certificated level 2 training program that all of our mentors go through. It lasts for somewhere between 12 and 14 to 16 weeks. And then there's an employment program in one of our programs around the island. We have a UEFA Foundation for Children program, a Math Attack program, which focuses on math education through sport. We have a USAID funded program, which is obviously the US Agency for International Development, which is an after-school program that's been going for 3 years now. And then also we have a British government funded program, which does the training for the mentors.
So it sounds like Sacred Sports has really grown and morphed into something bigger and more extensive than you ever imagined possible, which is so beautiful. And it also sounds like right now you've really had to pivot and things have halted due to the worldwide state of emergency. What has it looked like for you in being able to reach out to and support the youth that you serve during this time?
We're struggling along with our school systems and everybody else to try and really move to an interactive platform, and it's not helped by the fact that the majority of our participants are without the kind of means that would keep them communicating with us effectively. I'd like to say a little bit about Pure Game. You know, since we met, it's an organization that I have monitored. Your videos, your information during the COVID lockdown has been absolutely great. Some of the best out there, it really is. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in front of you. You know, we use it, we intend to use it. You know, we have been happy to share. People have helped us along the way a lot, but we've also been really, really determined to really empower the youth that we work with, and that we are more and more consistent in our belief that they need more opportunity.
So you touched on something really important that I think is one of the things we really instill in our values in Pure Game. And it's, you've got this commitment that you've made, this challenge ahead of you that you're working towards, but you don't really know quite how to get there yet. And so I kind of want to pivot and ask you a personal question, is share an experience with us where an event or a period of time where you've struggled with something and you weren't sure what to do next, where to go. You kind of have this vague idea of, in the future, this is where you need to be. What kind of support did you have, and how did you work through it to get to the other side, even if the other side looked differently than you thought?
Wow, I think the story of the organization is very much that kind of a story. You know, we did not begin with a plan that sort of set out that we would do what we're doing. I remember the very first day of the program, we sat on a field, and we'd said, look, we'll do a program for maybe 100 kids. And when we got to the field, there was kids everywhere. There was just hundreds of kids, and we were completely overwhelmed, and we're like, where have all these kids come from? And they're like, well, some of them had come from the other side of the island. It really left us in that sort of really weird space of thinking, gosh, you know, some of these kids had walked for like 2 hours, 3 hours to get to where we were, with no gear, nothing. Just sort of, look, I can play football. I want a chance to show you what I can do. And it was truly overwhelming. It really was. And really right from that point, we knew that we were in a very different scenario than we had in our minds. What you realized was that these kids needed something. You didn't quite know what, but they needed more than we were going to give them. And we began battling with a whole range of sort of desires, no real plan. And that led to us looking at what other people were doing in the US, in the UK, in Africa, in India. We reached out to, hundreds of organizations, say, hey, you've been doing this for a lot longer than us. What works? How does it work? And, you know, we got lots of help and support. And, you know, in the end, we realized, you know what, most of this stuff, we're just going to have to wing it and try. And we did. That's how we started. We just sort of took a group in an area and said, look, okay, we're going to work with you guys. And there were some things that really became apparent to us. The first was consistency. Once we said we were going to do something, we just had to do it. That the kids had become used to, both the coaches, the kids, the program managers, they'd all become used to people promising to do things and not delivering it. Then we sort of had to, I would say, tinker our own expectations, because, you know, in your mind, you see these beautiful programs, you see this beautiful ideal, and you want to do the best you can do. And then you realize, you know what, these kids, they don't really have a lot. And their expectations for you, if you go out there and say, look, I'm going to provide you with everything and do a world-class program, that's what they're going to expect. And so we had to sort of find a middle ground that we were happy with, and that could meet the requirements. And then we had to sort of try and work through what could we do that would have maximum impact.
So 3 things that I kind of want to pull out of there that seem noteworthy are, you reached out for support, you, from a lot of different places too, not just one. It kind of developed and grew as the organization grew, and what areas you need to reach out and who you could reach out to. That was the first one. You adapted with the process along the way, because it seemed like it kept pivoting, and you had to kind of adapt and go with the pivots, and then reassess maybe at each pivot point. And you were able to identify your purpose and focus.
Yes. I think you've picked out some critical areas. The other that I would say that's been critical for the organization is all of our programs are developed and run by young people. So we started with us, folks like myself, devising programs, thinking about what we were going to do. And we're now at a situation where really the youth mentors devise, they come up with the program. We might help them categorize it, help them codify it, put it into words, but it is a very youth-focused organization. As a result, I feel that we're always relevant. The kids have a massive input into what we do, and we're not afraid to say to ourselves, first and foremost, that this isn't working the way that we wanted it to. What we've found many times is that we've had a plan, it hasn't quite worked the way we wanted to, but the spin-offs have been just as positive as the things that we thought we were going to get. And what we've been able to do is to assess those quickly and say, you know what, we thought we were going to do X, but we actually have ended up doing Y.
I just want to jump in there. You said something earlier that I kind of encapsulated into a little my own words here, but it says, you say good things happen when you take action, right? And so how do you translate that in a message to the kids that you work with?
For us, I think it starts with the real belief that the people that run the program have to make all the key decisions. That what we try and say to our youth mentors and the people that work with us is that we believe that we're one of the few organizations that they will get to run and manage and engage at a level that they won't in almost any other organization. And it's very attractive to the kids that they realize that the decisions that they make are real. And we try and create an environment where both our participants and our mentors and coaches are not afraid to fail. So if we do something and it doesn't work, there's not a lot of recrimination around why it didn't work. It's more about how might we change that next time to make sure it works.
Delroy, thank you very much for your time today. Thank you very much for the insights that you've given us about the youth out there, your program. Tiffany, any last words?
Thank you, Delroy. I loved and appreciated just getting to know you a little bit and getting to know Sacred Sports a little bit more. Thank you for joining us for this week's Tiff and Tony show. We loved having you with us. If you like this content and want to see more of it, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please like and share this video with your friends on social media. We'll see you right back here next Monday.